Yo! What's going on, Bears fans? Jack Lomax, John Presnowski here. This is the Bear Necessities pod. You know, last week we talked about the preseason game in Buffalo first before we talked about the Hard Knocks episode, because I really thought the Hard Knocks episode, the second episode was kind of boring. It was definitely more of a fluff kind of episode. Last night, though, Jack. Last night delivered. I don't know about you. That was like one of the best Hard Knocks episodes of the last couple seasons. Like you could throw the Jets, the Lions, the Rams and Chargers, the Cowboys. You throw all those teams out there in all those seasons of Hard Knocks. But last night, I'm trying to take my bias out of it. Like, that was awesome. Like, that was the content we wanted, right? Like, that showed everything.
It was the content we needed. Like, you hit it on the head. That fluff last week, it felt generic. It felt like a filler episode. What we got yesterday was wall-to-wall entertainment. There was not a single moment in that episode where I was disengaged. It was phenomenal.
I thought last night provided like the best insight into the Bears operation thus far.
Oh, so good. Yeah.
The conversations that Ryan Poles had regarding the potential trade to land Patriots defensive end Matt Judon. That was such a cool and nice look behind closed doors. And ironically, last week's show, we talked about, are the Bears looking to add another defensive end opposite of Montez Sweat? And like not even 2 hours later, the news dropped that Judon was going to Atlanta. I thought it was so cool. We really haven't been able to see a lot of action with Ryan Poles, and like we finally got that. Like that was the closest thing to off season with the New York Giants we got last night from Poles. Like, wasn't that so? I don't know. I thought that was so cool.
It was incredible. And what I really liked about that, a couple of things I liked about it. First thing was the insight in the actual trade. Like you said, the steps that they take to make the trade, bringing in Kevin Warren, having that conversation. This is the money that we think we're going to have to put towards it. We need to make sure that Matthew Judon is going to accept the contract that we're going to offer him. I think that actually kind of played into, we always wondered, why did Judon not actually come to the Bears? I think that kind of played into it. And I kind of think we got that insight from that episode. Yes, we all offered the same pick, but did Judon like our contract offer? And I think when it comes to that choice, it wasn't necessarily like we assumed, like Atlanta are going to have the worst pick, which they are because the Bears are winning the Super Bowl, baby. But I think it came to who's offering in the right contract, and we weren't ready to, as Ryan Paul say it, get out of our guard. We have a box, we have a guideline to protect our team financially, and he stuck by it. I loved that. I absolutely thought that was phenomenal. And then he obviously talked a little bit more about Austin Booker. Yeah, we were going to give a 3rd-round pick for Judon, but we gave a 4th-round pick for this rookie on a 4-year deal. So,
and I thought the HBO crew did such a good job of showing a flashback from draft night when the Bears decided to jump back into the draft to acquire Austin Booker in that 4th round. Right. And then they flash forward to the game in Buffalo where Austin Booker shined and had 2.5 sacks. He played really well against the Bengals this past week as well. I thought that was so cool. And not just did we get that inside look into Ryan Poles, but we also got to see a little bit of Kevin Warren talking about potentially the new stadium, and whether your team downtown, Team Chicago, or Team Arlington Heights. I did think it was cool that we got, a little minute or two snippet of Kevin Warren talking to, a lot of the other Bears top brass, a lot of people in that room talking about potential new stadium deal. I mean, I thought that was so cool.
We want that. That's what, as a Chicago Bears fan, that has been our news feed outside of Caleb. That's been our news feed. We've wanted to see what's going on with our stadium. Mm-hmm. That's the content that we want. That's the content that got delivered. I loved, even though it's a little small tidbit, it didn't go too much into detail. Just saying, it's essentially an acknowledgement. Here's Chicago. We are still looking at this. Be excited. And it did. Even talking about them small, minute details. We want our fans to be standing up because we know they're going to be standing up cheering on this team. So these are the kind of seats we want. These are what we loved it. Great content.
Like there's so much going on with this team, not just with Caleb Williams, Roma Dunze, all this, everybody, all the new additions on the offense. Top to bottom. But like there's so much going on, and there's four forward momentum with this team outside just the playing field, like talking about the stadium. And like we finally got to see a little bit of that last night. And even if it was just a minute or two, I thought that was just a great touch.
Yeah.
And it really feels like HBO like pushed episode 2 out and like just had to push something out because like they were slowly building up this third episode. Cause like we got a little bit of everything. We really did. Can we just talk about, and we just need to talk about this, the slow-mo, high resolution, like high definition, the slow motion, videos of Caleb evading the pocket, throwing across his body. Like, oh my God, that was, I gotta like, yeah. No, I was just saying, like, I got to put like my little just like Bears fandom away for a second. I was just giddy watching that. I'm like, oh my God.
What I really liked about it as well, we talk about the production. Those highlights of him in the Buffalo game making those throws, they were talked about in a sense with Eberflus. Hey, break this down for me. What did you see here?
Right.
And he's like, oh, well, this is what we saw. This is what we did. And going to those slow motions and seeing him make those throws and rolling out of the pocket and making that throw to Cole Kmet, phenomenal. I'm here for that. I'm here for that and more. And then he even did it in training practice and give us some slow-mos in that too. Phenomenal. It's going to be so good. It is so exciting to be a Chicago Bears fan right now.
It really is. Eberflus is growing on me. There's moments where I'm like, okay, like, all right, you know what? I'm going to give this dude the benefit of the doubt. I still think he's goofy as hell.
Yeah.
But there's moments, like where he's pulling Caleb aside just to talk to him about like the defense. What is he seeing? Talking about coverages and stuff. I loved that the offense came out with 2 consecutive three and outs, this past Saturday against the Bengals. And, Eberflus easily could have been like, I don't want to hurt anybody. But no, he knew, he understood that the offense wasn't gelling. This was a great opportunity to get these guys more reps. And he did exactly that. And he put those ones back out there. And I don't care that Caleb was going up against backups there. Like he needed those reps. Odunze needed those reps.
Yes, they did. And I mean, the other thing that played into it as well, and we didn't even realize this. This is what I really like about Hard Knocks and why I'll always be an advocate for Hard Knocks. On the sideline, we're sat there thinking, how is Caleb Williams not going 3 and outs? Like, yeah, it's fine. We're growing pains, whatever. Stuff's going on. What's going on? We know now. He had, and I'm not making excuses, although I am technically. He had hearing issues with the mic.
The microphone communication in Caleb's helmet was not syncing well. Like he could not hear Shane Waldron, offense coordinator, calling the plays into the huddle really well. I don't know specifically if that led to like the awkward, weird start, but that's the kind of insight. Like I know what you're trying to say. Like that's the kind of insight in the access that we just got to see as viewers that we don't get to see watching the actual game live. Yeah.
Okay, that is a reason why. Maybe not the reason, but a reason why.
Right.
We want him on a snap count. We want to push him to a specific amount of snaps. But realistically, if he had got through those 2 drives without just being 3 and outs right away, he would have probably been out sooner. But let's be real, he didn't because, that's why I attribute it to that hearing issue. Yeah. And that's why they were out longer. And that's why we got that Caleb to Odunze. That was phenomenal.
Well, again, really quick, I just want to give Eberflus some flowers here. Like that was, in my opinion, a sign that he's in his 3rd year as head coach, and he has grown from where he first started to where he is now. And like that was a great coaching moment, even that came in a meaningless exhibition game. You leave your guys out there, you give them more reps, and Caleb will only play better the more he plays. Yeah. Like Caleb hasn't played a full game since last November. Like the guy needs to get into a rhythm. He needs to establish more reps and just be on the field more. The more he's on the field, the more comfortable he's going to be.
I mean, even during the Hard Knocks episode when, his coach is on the side saying, are you nervous? I was like, I've never been nervous.
Oh,
I since game one of high school, I'm like, I only watched the episode once, and I'm just sat here thinking he's talking about his high school. I made 2 fumble snaps.
Yeah.
That was the only time I've ever been nervous. And then since then, it's just a game. And I'm like,
Just a game.
you know
I'm
what?
just going to go out there and play ball.
What's the difference between cocky and confident? I say that's confidence. I don't think that's cockiness. I think that's a guy that is like, I'm comfortable with my abilities. It is just a game. Let's put it in perspective. But there is a lot of pressure on his shoulders. You are expected to make history with this team, and
yeah,
I think he will.
Talking about the episode a little bit more from last night, we're reacting to the Hard Knocks episode 3. Such a great episode, and we have so much to get to. What kind of backstory did you enjoy more? Did you enjoy the Tyson Bagent? Like, hey, like I want to show these guys I'm not just a QB2. I'm not just some chump, as he called it. Like I'm here to stay and I'm here to show like I've got some game. Or did you enjoy kind of the backstory on our new punter, Torrey Taylor? I really enjoyed both. I love Bagent and I love his dad, like the arm wrestling champion. Travis Bagent could have his own reality show, and I would tune in every week.
Reality show. I can guarantee that guy is going to be riding a wave, and he is going to get his own. And if he doesn't, what a wasted opportunity, because that guy is a highlight reel.
I thought it was really interesting too. Another thing that the casual NFL viewer does not realize is like being a punter. Although like to the naked eye, it might not seem like a difficult job. The rain is literally coming down like almost sideways at Soldier Field. The couple squalls of weird weather that we had this past weekend here. And you have a rookie punter in like his first home game action, and to play on Soldier Field, like play in that element, like it's not easy. Like it's not the easiest place to play.
Right.
And in showing Torrey Taylor just snap the ball, catch it, and be able to, place it for Cairo to kick the extra point, kick a field goal. Like that's something that people don't necessarily think about.
Right.
And for people like, for some of the teammates to go up to Torrey and be like, hey man, nice hold.
Celebrations
in the rain.
Such a small, a small skill, underappreciated skill. And seeing that, like you said, the guys on the sideline, like, dude, great hold.
Yeah.
Like, that was Jack Sanborn coming over. It's your starters, it's your first teamers are coming in there and recognizing that.
Yeah.
But to kind of piggyback on what you're saying though, between Tyson Bagent and Torrey Taylor, both phenomenal content.
Right.
I could sit and listen to his dad. His dad's hilarious. Highlight reel every time he talks. Like the fact that he was saying they're talking about the team in general. Is like they're all happy out there. Look at them. They're all rich. They're all having fun. They've all got hot girlfriends. I was dying. It's brilliant. And then even with Torrey Taylor, when he's talking to the what's it called? The media. When he's talking to the media, and they're like, "Oh, your nickname's going to come up at some point. What do you think about Crocodile Punter?" Me, in 100% in. I don't care what Eberflus says as his nickname. Crocodile Punter was absolutely it. He did not like it one bit, and I thought that was absolutely hilarious. But he was phenomenal content. Let's be real. When do you really get to sit and watch the backstory of a punter? Like realistically, nobody cares except with Chicago right now. He's a I hate to say it, for a punter, generational talent. We throw that out there with Caleb, but the dude flipped the field and everyone was electric.
Like do the Bears potentially have a generational quarterback and a generational punter at the same time?
We don't hope. You don't see it. Yeah.
One can hope.
He was great. He was great.
Last night's episode, like seriously, it had a little bit of everything. Like and we thought Theo Benedict, absolutely crushed the rookie performances, but I want to just take this moment to give a small token of my appreciation to Austin Reed, absolutely killing that Keisha Cole cover. That was phenomenal. Like I wasn't familiar with his game. Like that guy absolutely crushed it.
Great song choice. The engagement that it had with the team, they all just everyone, and just the fact that they let that play out, and just watching the team like jam out to it and appreciate it. Was he singing good? Absolutely not. He's not going to win American Idol anytime soon. But loved it. That was great content. John, what would if you were going to, let's say you're a rookie, you've made it onto the Chicago Bears team. What's your rookie song?
Ooh, I feel like you asked me this off air last week
Yes.
after the
Yeah.
show.
You've had a week to think about this.
I know.
I'm not going to ask you to sing it.
I'm not a big karaoke guy, honestly. Like, I don't know something specific off the top of my head, so I'm going to defer to you. Like, if you're on the spot, what would you do? Because this would take me a second. We'll be here another 5 minutes.
Shania Twain, "Man, I Feel Like a Woman." Absolutely fantastic song. It's a great song. It's a
You'd
crowd
shut that
pleaser.
room down. You'd shut that room down.
Everyone would walk out.
Yeah.
But it's just a crowd pleaser. Yeah.
Was there anything else from last night's episode? Like I really haven't touched on. Like they showed Keenan Allen dominating the Bengals in the rain during the joint practice. Yeah. Like what else did
I wrote 1,000,001 things. 1,000,001 things. Simone Biles.
Oh yeah, can we talk about this really quick? Okay.
Yes.
So Jack and I are diehard Bears fans. We understand that Simone Biles made a mistake. I think it was an honest mistake. She's just wearing a jacket to support her husband, Jonathan Owens, which, by the way, I think the dude is having a great camp. He's having a great preseason.
Yes, he is.
I'm a big fan. He's had a couple really nice open field tackles. He had one on Saturday to have the Bengals punt. So Simone Biles came to Soldier Field, taking pictures on the sideline, but she's got a Jonathan Owens like Packers gray denim jacket on, and it blew up all over social media.
Wild.
I'm going to give Simone Biles a little slap on the wrist right now. I don't care that she is, the most decorated U.S. gymnast of all time, one of the best U.S. Olympians, one of the best athletes of all time. That's great. That's great. I'm ecstatic. I'm so excited for her and how she represents our country. But when you're in Soldier Field, you don't wear stuff like that. And I think now she understands. I think now she notices, and she won't make that mistake again. But if she does make that mistake again, Jack, I'm gonna have issues.
There's gonna have big issues.
Like she's ostracized. She's not welcome anymore. Like it'll get there for me.
You're more forgiving than I am. I saw that and immediately was like, is she wearing a Green Bay jacket? What's going on there? And then obviously they made a big deal out of it on Hard Knocks and brought it up. And all I could think to myself was, I'd kick her off the field. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you were the most decorated person on the bloody planet. You walk onto that field with Green Bay gear, that's a big no-no on my books. So you've got a lot of making up to do. If you want to put a sizable donation to the Bare Necessities podcast, you're all completely forgiven. But but yeah, it was very frustrating.
It's a big no-no in my book, but I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt. You're
a nice person. You're a great person, John. Great person.
I have my moments. So, but overall, also, I felt like last night was the first night we really got to see Caleb mic'd up, probably the most he has been.
Yes.
Throughout the first 3 episodes.
Yeah, we did.
And he did not disappoint. Like he rose to the occasion. The spotlight was on him, and like he absolutely crushed it. He murdered it. It was phenomenal. It was great. I'm trying really hard not to show so much bias towards the Bears right now, but seriously, like that was not only the best episode thus far that we've watched, but again, in my opinion, I've watched Hard Knocks the last couple seasons. Like that behind the scenes football content. We got a little bit of everything yesterday. But it was like hard hitting. It was in your face, and we got to see so much access that we really didn't get to see the first 2 episodes. So
it's going to be a hard follow for next week. Next week
really
we're
will.
looking at
the
Bears are going to be resting most of their starters,
right?
What content is going to follow,
right?
How are we going to build on that,
right? And speaking of which, that's leading me to my next question. I wanted to ask: do you have like a wish list for the final 2 remaining episodes of Hard Knocks? Like, is there anything specifically you want to see? I mean, there's 2 no-brainers for me. Number 1, can we please get some type of Montez Sweat audio? Please, anyone out there?
Just
like
Montez Sweat content. Period.
I don't know specifically what he said. There was a small snippet from the training camp practice with the Bengals, I believe. And I did hear him say something. The audio picked up on it. I couldn't really make it out what it was. I think that's what it was. But can we get Montez Sweat just saying something, anything? I know he's probably not as personable as Jalen Johnson and some of the other guys on the defense. But like, come on, man. Like the guy is a giant of a human. Like, can we get him saying something? And then number 2, the Bears play the Chiefs tomorrow night in Kansas City to cap off the preseason. We know, we've heard the news that Caleb Williams and a lot of the starters, I think the majority of all the starters, will not be playing tomorrow night in Kansas City. HBO cannot miss the opportunity to have Caleb talking with Patrick Mahomes. Like, there's no way they're going to miss that, right? Like, there's no way. There's no way that they're going to miss that interaction.
Yeah, I think you've nailed it on the head. I think the two main things that I want to see, I do want to see Montez Sweat content. I'm actually kind of frustrated that we haven't. I mean, we saw the guy in at the draft party. Like I said, he's a beast. I'm 6'3", and this guy towers. He absolutely towers.
He's a large man.
I'd love to see some content on him and his input. We haven't really seen anything on the defensive line, to be honest with you, apart from Austin Booker. But, you know, I want to hear about the interiors. I want to hear about what Montez is thinking after his trade from Washington. You know, there's good content there. You hit it on the head with Pat and Caleb. I think, you know, we've got our Patrick Mahomes. I know you hate to say that. We should have had Patrick Mahomes, let's be real. But we've got our guy now. And I'd love that content. I'd love that comparable. Other things that I do want to see. I want to see that continuation of that conversations with Jalen Johnson as a leader. I think we talked about it in the previous. It was talked about a lot actually in the last episode. I want to see that continuation. I want to see if all these people are leaving. You're not leaving. Sorry, the first teamers aren't playing. I want to see them second stringers, them third stringers. I want to get to know them before they're out. You know, I think we've had a lot of Austin Reed content. I don't think he makes the team. So we've grown to love the guy, and he's going to be removed from the team. I think we're going to see a lot of those rookie conversations. That's what I do want to see.
Right. I could see a scenario where Austin Reed, makes the practice squad. I could see a scenario like that. And I think those difficult decisions we will see probably on the final episode. I think we're going to get to see some dramatic scenes. It's been very positive and uplifting so far. There really hasn't been much conflict in any of these episodes. Or much dramatic effect. I think we're finally going to get to see something maybe on next Thursday for the 4th episode, and then the 5th episode leading into the regular season.
Even like Velas Jones.
Yeah. The Ferret King.
We're gonna see some I thought that was brilliant. Again, was it nonsense content? Yeah. Did we need to see it? No. Did we like seeing it? Hell yeah. I love that. I think we're going to see some tough conversations with people we've grown up over the next 3 years, like Velas Jones. Like, if we're looking at him and saying, you know, we don't see the role that we were trying to cut out for you for 2024, cut.
Do you have an issue that like Caleb, Rome, some of the guys won't be playing tomorrow in Kansas City? Like, I know this is weird, and we talked about it last week on the show that, you know, because the Bears got an extra preseason game, including the Hall of Fame game, like they will play 4 preseason exhibition games. Like, do you have an issue that none of those guys are going to play tomorrow night?
No. And although I'd love to see it, I'd love to have the snap content and just the content in general. You know, you want to see your starters. Nobody goes to a game to watch second stringers, but at the same time, because of Hard Knocks and because we're so invested in the team, I do want to see those battles, those Velas Jones Juniors versus what was that guy, Ian Wheeler. I want to know which one's going to make the team. So I'm looking forward to those conversations and seeing who's going to produce. Because it's going to give us a clear idea of what our depth chart is going to be. I do want to see Austin Reed get a bit more game time. I think Tyson Bagent, coming back to him, I was harsh on him last week. I've never been that big of a Tyson Bagent fan. I think he's been all right. He's been serviceable, but I don't think he's blown us out of the water. He showed up. He had fun with it. I think Caleb's rubbing off on him. I think a lot less pressure on him in year 2. And for me, he after first game, Brett, is it Ripon? I can't say his last name. It's got the weirdest last name. Ripon. Spell it Ripon then. But he has. For me, he was back up. He was number 2.
Yeah.
He's got that, Shane Waldron's
I think we're going to see a heavy
offense.
dose tomorrow of Brett Ripon and Austin Reed. I think tomorrow is going to be that kind of game in Kansas City at Arrowhead. Bajan finished the game on Saturday. He went 7 for 8, 87 yards, 2 touchdowns, both Austin Pettis. So I thought that was a great showing by Bajan. Obviously, we need to talk just briefly about the Bengals game on Saturday. We know it was a slow start. But something happened that the last 2 drives with Caleb in that offense, and there's 3 plays in particular where Caleb just absolutely showed out and showed you what we've seen him do in college, where it's not just he's playing the quarterback position at a high level, but the game slows down for him. The game, the field itself becomes his sandbox, his playground, where his pocket presence, just evading dudes left and right, making something out of nothing. And I'm sorry, but there's maybe 1 or 2 other guys, and I texted you this, there's maybe 1 or 2 other guys that can roll out and throw a dot on the run with elite zip on the ball. The guy in Kansas City and maybe another guy in the league. But Caleb did that twice the other day. And that play to Odunze, if Odunze would have stayed in bounds, and by the way, can we talk to the Chicago Fire or whoever was doing the Soldier Field lines? I'm going to give Odunze, I'm going to throw a little bit of a pass to him. Obviously, that he needs to, understand where his feet need to be. But that was a little confusing, even for me, as a viewer. That was a little confusing. But had that been a touchdown, Jack, that would have been one of the best plays of the preseason in the whole league. That was phenomenal.
It was great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Going on to Caleb, his pocket presence and the evading, clearly it's going to have some comparisons to our previous QB1, right? Justin Fields looks great. Justin Fields looked great doing that last season. The when Justin Fields peels out, he's running. He's running regardless. He's running. He's got that in his locker. Great. Caleb's got both. Caleb's still got speed. I don't think he's got Justin Fields speed, but he's got speed. He's got that evasiveness. But his pocket presence and his ability to look down the field, read the defense that quick. We saw that when we were having those conversations with Eberflus.
And Caleb's looking to throw. He's not looking to run. He doesn't want to run for rushing touchdowns. That's not. He came out and said he doesn't like to run unless he absolutely has to.
Yeah, his first touchdown as a Chicago Bear, right? It's the run play.
I loved that when the Bears went into halftime, he kept the ball and he just put it in that little green man purse of his.
Yeah.
I know people are hating on the green purse. I don't
love it. I'm here for it.
Give a shit. Dude, you can have a pink Gucci purse with jewelry all over it. I don't care. Just win us ball games, bro. I don't care what you do. It does not bother me. It does not bother me. And what bothers me is people are so sensitive to all the little intricate things of Caleb and how he presents himself outside the field.
Yeah.
Exactly. Who the fuck cares? This dude is here to win us ball games. And if he does that, he can do whatever the hell he wants. Yeah. I do not care.
10 what was it? PFT said 10 Super Bowls, but you have to kill a Chicago Bears fan. And
press a button, and Big Cat was just, and Big Cat's I'll sign up. I'll press the button for you.
Yeah, you can take me. Yeah, you can. I'm out.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that Caleb didn't actually give an answer. He thought about it, but he's like I want to say something, but I can't.
Well, no, he was pressing that button. He was pressing that.
I absolutely love that. I love that, and I can't wait to watch that full interview today.
Let's. I know it's preseason, and I know you've got to really temper expectations with it. We've outscored our opponents. Is it 60? I think it's 60-9.
The last 2 games.
Yeah, we're not going to class a Hall of Fame game. That was
Yeah.
a shit show.
It's funny you mentioned that. I was just about to say, I know it's preseason, but the last 2 games, the Bears have only let up 9 points. And
Guess it's
defensive wise, I don't know how much better you can ask. No touchdowns allowed in the last 2 games. That's impressive, even if it's just preseason.
The way I look at it is we are in a position right now where if a player goes down, we have a next man up. We have depth. We have strong depth, especially on that defense. I loved all the defense content. It was for me one of my favorite parts of the entire episode, this entire series, is how phenomenal Jalen Johnson's looked. Like, you see it sometimes where people get paid and their performance dips. Cough, cough, Eddie Jackson. But you look at Jalen and he's like, no, I'm pissed. I was not one of the top 100. Like, fuck this league. I'm going to absolutely tear this league up. I'm going to be the number 1 defensive back in this league, and you're all going to know about it. Kyler Gordon, the ability for him to go in and make those tackles, some strong infield tackles. Jonathan Owens, I don't even think he's going to be a starter. Like, we're that strong in our depth chart, and he looked phenomenal. Smith, he got the interception. Just top to bottom, we're looking so good, so good, and it's. You can't not be excited to be a Chicago Bears fan. It's so exciting.
This is probably the most exciting time being a Bears fan since probably the 2018 season, heading into the 2019 season, and we had so much optimism coming off the division. I was so looking forward to that season, and obviously we just came out flat and laid an egg. But something's different around this time. We've talked about it in episodes past. And if you guys need and you guys want, go back, listen to some old episodes of ours. We're available on we're available on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify. Check out our YouTube page, The Bear Necessities. I got to work with it. You type in Bear Necessities in YouTube, it automatically recorrects it to BARE, Bear Necessities, like the Jungle Book. I'm going to talk to YouTube. We're going to fix that.
We just got to be bigger than Disney.
But go back, listen to some old content of ours. It's still pretty good. Look to see where we came from, where we are now. But I already lost where I was going with this. What were we talking about?
Brand new. I immediately all I could think about was brand new headphones. And
yeah. Yeah.
But no, you would. We were looking at. Mate, I don't even know. You actually went on a
You know what? That's okay. That's all right. I think we're still just in La La Land from Hard Knocks from last night. All I can think about
is we're bigger than we got to be bigger than Disney, so we can make sure that we don't have to change the search parameters.
We're on our way. One last thing I will say. Oh, yeah. I remember just talking about like how much hype there is around this team and how exciting it is, and how difficult it's going to be for me. I don't know about you, but it's going to be difficult for me because after tomorrow night's game in Kansas City, we have to wait 17 days until September 8th. That's a long time without Bears football. I'm like, and yes, we'll still have Hard Knocks. And yes, college football is finally back this Saturday. We got a couple games. Like this is the first week until February that we'll have football, whether it's college football or NFL football until February. Thank you, Lord. Thank you. We're back. We're back, baby. But I'm just saying, like, it's going to be a long wait for me personally until September 8th. Like that's a long time. 17 days. Like that's a long time. And I pray that Matt Eberflus has his team ready to go that day. Because we came out flat the first quarter, the first 4 games of last year. Please, Eberflus, get your guys ready.
Yeah.
Like, they need to show up to this moment. All this positive momentum, all this positive hype surrounding this team, like they need to come into September 8th ready to rock.
I've got a hot take on this. Big time. So first off, the thing that we're going to have in between, fantasy football. All right, let's be real. I'm going to tell you right now, John, if you even touch Caleb Williams in fantasy football, I'm coming around to your house. I know where you live. All right. You stay away from football Jesus. All right. Number 1. Number 2. The NFC North is sweating. The amount of people that are in my inbox that I'm friends with that are Green Bay fans, that are Vikings fans, Lions fans, they're nervous. They are fucking nervous, and they've got every right to be, because the Bears are back. We are looking good. The monsters are the midway. Our defense is top to bottom, absolute electric. Our offense is clicking. Our offense is dirty, pure filth. Oh my God, it's like porn. If you're a Vikings fan, what are you looking forward to? JJ, what, sitting on the sidelines in his biscuit knees? No, gone. What are you excited for the Green Bay Packers? Jordan Love on his overhyped contract? No. Cut. We don't care about Jordan Love. Lions, what have you got to look forward to? Yeah, you were a good team last year. You ain't growing on that. You still got Jared Goff. You know what I've got? I've never cared for Jared Goff. I think he's overhyped. The Bears are the most exciting team. I'm going to say it, not even for the NFC North, in the NFC. In the NFL. They're the most exciting team. Everyone's jealous. Everyone's making comments. Fuck them.
I'm trying my best to temper expectations, because I remember last preseason Kenny Pickett and the Steelers were like unstoppable. Like, they were amazing. And then the regular season came, and Kenny Pickett and the Steelers offense was like the most boring watch ever. They were like the Iowa Hawkeyes of the NFL. Like, you just like had to strap in and be like, oh, do I have to watch this?
Why do you have to bring me down from a high?
I'm not trying to. And I don't know. And I don't think that is going to translate to our team. I really don't.
No, it's not.
I truly think Caleb Williams is just a little bit more talented than Kenneth Pickett.
Kenny Pickett.
You know, who might just be good enough to be the third string quarterback in Philadelphia. I think that's where he is right now. He's Philadelphia.
Great.
Buried on the depth chart.
For the Argonauts.
Yeah.
Canadian Football League.
Yeah. But no, after tomorrow night, and tomorrow night will for sure be an exhibition game at Arrowhead in Kansas City. It's going to be a long wait, and I know we got fantasy football. I know we got college football to look forward to. I'm working on back to back fantasy football championships, my friend. Okay, I'm coming. This trophy I have to my right here is not going anywhere. I'm letting you know that right now.
We haven't figured out how, but he's cheating. It's
collusion.
We don't know how.
It's collusion. But
there is a lot of collusion in there. Shout out Brandon.
But anyway, let's wrap up the show. Again, he's Jack Lomax. I'm John Prisnowski. This was the Bare Necessities podcast. Appreciate all you guys hanging out. Again, go check us out on Apple Podcasts. Go check us out on Spotify. Give us a like, subscribe on YouTube, trying to grow the page. And we're just getting started, man. Just getting started. I can't wait to keep this thing rolling, this thing we got going. And it's going to be a fun season, man. So be good, be well, my friends. And don't forget, bear down.